and start the game. Of course, the wonderful map intro there. Antigua Shipyard, the destination. There are our two players. Who's going on to the winner bracket final, and who's going down to the pits, the loser bracket, where there are a lot of vicious players looking to go the distance.
Yep, that is the gladiatorial arena. You don't want to be anywhere near that if you can avoid it. There's plenty of blood on that sand already, but there's a man that is standing in the way of that foreigner dominance. Again, it is Complexity Hart. He is in the red trunks playing Terran to the east of Antigua Shipyard versus his opponent, Millennium Stephano, in the blue trunks playing Zerg to the west. And Hart playing that phenomenal game 2, which resets this series, takes it down to the best of 1. And Stephano, even with his usual poise, is going to be feeling just a little shaken after that one.
Yep, especially going on to Antigua Shipyard here. This is the version with a gold base on it, so that emphasizes the strength of Terran here late game. If they manage to hold on to potentially Stephano's key strategy here, which may very well be a 3-base bust. We saw him play that style against Ryung earlier in the tournament, which failed. And if that fails again, and Hart doesn't drop the ball like we saw previously, Hart can glide through into the winner bracket final. And a lot of strategies from Zerg players do revolve around that mid-game aggression. Is Stephano going to do it? I don't know.
We will find out certainly sooner rather than later, I would imagine. We've got probably the most conventional thing I've seen from Hart so far, which is an actual wall-off coming in here with the barracks at the top, playing straight up to start with. Going to be seeing a 15 hatch coming in from Stephano, needless to say. No reason not to do that, nothing funky to begin with.
No refinery has been put down by Complexity Hart. He's, of course, telling us he wants to go 1 barracks expansion play.
Yep.
Pretty much the new build in this matchup now since the patch change, where refinery and then into the reactor Hellions has really been nullified.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like it's half psychological and half not, because the Queen range upgrade and the energy have enabled for additional spread, and now the Queen has the same range as the Hellion, which makes things difficult. And we've seen in this tournament, really the first big test of the patch, that for the most part, Hellion expand has not been that effective unless you can get in. And that can sometimes happen now because Zerg are pushing out further earlier with those Queens, so more often than not, Hellions can slip by.
But against a player like Stephano, who clearly showed Hart in the last game that he's not afraid. He will take the investment of the Roach Warren over none every single day of the week here.
Indeed.
And that naturally pushes Hart to, why even bother? Why even bother when I can just go 1 barracks expansion, screw what Stephano has planned? But look at that. We do have a bunker coming down. Stephano doesn't even twitch. He does pull a few drones down eventually, but he knows that's not real and that's not a true commitment.
He's not overly concerned about it and has just a little bit of a nibble, not really wasting too much mining time there. But there is, of course, the risk that the bunker does go up, and even with 1 Marine in it, it's still a pain because you've got to dedicate something to get rid of it.
And he does just pull a couple of drones. Has to send them back immediately. He wants to minimize the lack of
the lost mining time.
Mining time, indeed. He's going to keep 2 drones there just in case to pull that bunker down, because he doesn't actually know if his opponent has expanded or not. But of course, he just playing it safe, not just like ignoring the fact that this could be a 2 racks. Doesn't want to just lose the game nice and easy. He's going to poke in with that Overlord to get that scout off the natural expansion here.
Indeed. It's such a nice thing to do if you happen to be Terran, to go for that little tiny light pressure, because it's disruptive and it barely costs you anything.
It does indeed. And we do have a 3rd Queen on the way by Stephano, out of gas as well. Let's, I mean, I'm looking over in Complexity Hart space here. As the factory coming down, as well as, of course, the delayed reactor Hellion. I'm interested to see if he will be trying to go for tank play here with a double factory coming down. This could very well be mech. Doesn't necessarily going to mean that he's going to go double reactor Hellions. It's obviously very delayed here. It's not really going to work.
Indeed.
He could start off with Blue Flame and then go over into mech. We'll have to see if he takes the gases on the natural anytime soon. That's kind of the key here. But the Roach one has been put down. You know, there's that. I'm not going to skip it. I'm actually going to play safe. I'm going to get it. And it's down.
Yeah, give him so many options as well, so he might as well grab it, and he is able to consistently use Roaches effectively in this matchup. So what is going on here, more to the point? A Tech Lab is coming down on the barracks. Doesn't look like it's for a swap around, honestly, and we've still only got 2 gas held on. Could very well be Blue Flame, but no, it is actually for the swap around there, so yep, let's see. Is it going to be Blue Flame?
Yeah, it's going to be Blue Flame here. I'd be surprised if it wasn't, of course, getting the second factory. And there's the third Hellion and the Blue Flame coming down. And Stephano, the only scout Stephano's got is that Overlord on the natural, which has not seen the gases taken, which may be a little bit confusing for him. As soon as he sees them taken, he will, of course, start to guess, start to puzzle what his opponent's doing. But with Roaches out here, Stephano only builds 4. That's the key. And let's see how well these Hellions are hidden. Maybe they can run past these 4 Hellions, past these 4 Roaches. But Stephano has got that third Queen, has got that creep spread, trying to connect towards this third base. Stim is on the way as well, so he's not committing to mech at all. But it's that awkward composition that we talked about Stephano's played against game in, game out, against Pult, Blue Flame, Hellions, and Marines. Very annoying composition.
Indeed, extremely annoying composition. But he does have the Roach Warren to deal with. Macro Hatch coming down as well. You know, something I've actually noticed in this series from Stephano is that if you compare it to a player like Dongregu or Symbol in this matchup, his creep spread is nowhere near as prolific.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we definitely saw that in the last game as one of the causes to his death. But he hasn't actually researched another upgrade from his double evolution chamber yet, which is very interesting. Only with +1 carapace. But Hellions are on the way out now. They do have Blue Flame 3 additional Roaches have been made. 2 Roaches in the center, of course. Alibasi showing us that 4 Roaches in total, 7 more on the way. But there are a lot of scared drones at the moment.
Indeed, because it doesn't matter if you've got enough Roaches to kill that. Can you kill it quick enough before it destroys your entire mineral line? A nice fend-off buying time right here for Stephano. He's at least got the creep connected now to the third, so the defense should be pretty solid. Pushing forward aggressively. There are enough Hellions to actually kill those Roaches, but certainly not efficiently, driving them away.
And Stephano warded that off really easy, actually. I mean, yeah, that was super easy. So the investment hasn't paid off yet. It can still also pay off a lot later on. Stephano sees a third command center, double refinery going down. And of course, if he even pokes in just an inch more still extra barracks, but he doesn't really know what's going on precisely. He doesn't know if it's mech or not, but he should be able to know that the late refineries here indicate that it's not mech and it is just Blue Flame.
Exactly. He should have had that way earlier otherwise. Roach is now moving forward and split up in a nice position so that it's an incredibly inefficient trade there for Hart. He still has the firepower, but reinforcements coming in from the back to drive that away. And right now we're seeing just a more conventional positional Marine tank play with double engineering bay to back that up.
Yeah, double engineering bay. Get working on those upgrades. Don't really want to fall behind those Ling upgrades, but Stephano does build enough units to keep his opponent away. Stephano's been on a very low drone count this game long, 53 drones. I wonder if he's even going to build anymore. We'll have to find out as Stephano breaks through the front wall here. Not really looking to go much further, I don't think. I'm not sure if he can.
Be surprised if he can. He's got a hell of a lot of pressure, honestly, but the tanks are reaping a terrible toll on those Roaches. A lot of SCVs pulled off here. An interesting decision to go for it, but he's actually going to break this, and through he goes. 1 tank down. Second tank might even end up falling here as the Roaches are finally eliminated. An interesting choice to stab forth with it, and he's not done. He's got 13 more coming. Yeah,
he did squeeze in 12 drones right before those Roaches, so he's at 70 now, spread across 3 bases.
Killed 9 workers too.
Yeah. That's a nice little maneuver there by Stephano, and now his opponent is now starting to move across the map. Has to be so careful. I don't know where he's trying to go with these tanks, and he has to get back to defend this third base. Stephano could just roll over him, easy peasy. Hive has been thrown down. Stephano not going for a 3-base bust here, but going for a 3-base Hive instead.
Indeed, we may see those Ultras come out once again. Have been so popular in this tournament. Roach's just like, you know what, tanks, we're not really so bothered about that. We're going to go for it anyway. Picks up one tank, not exactly what I call an efficient trade there, but Stephano, with a bit of an economic lead at the moment, can perhaps afford to do that and continue to try and hold his opponent back. But hey, hey, Blue Flame Hellions going around the side.
If only he tried to go instead of killing Creep, he could have actually done damage there in that third base. But 2 Infestors there. Are going to pinpoint and lock them down nice and easy. Stephano needs to upgrade the +2 melee attack here. A bit of a mistake that he has forgotten to do that. Does not want to fall behind on those upgrades. Has to make sure those Ultras that will be coming out do the damage necessary.
Exactly.
But Stephano also will be thinking about a 4th base very shortly. But of course, with the investment of this early hive, wants to save his money towards, or at least for a while, towards the Ultralisk Cavern, the Ultralisk to pop. But we do have a 4th base going, taken down in the center. There's the Ultralisk Cavern down. There's the +2 melee attack finally, and also Adrenalines make those cracklings go crazy.
That they do. They start shuffling. It's absolutely absurd to watch, really. A little bit dangerous too, honestly. We've got Hart now established on the 3rd very nicely. He is just bunkered down, has no reason to really move out at this stage, not attempting any actual harassment there, no drops, no medevacs, only just now actually starting production.
Blind Marauders being made here very weirdly. I mean, Hart and a lot of other Koreans, not just Hart, actually study Stephano. They understand how he plays a lot of the time because he is the foreigner to beat.
Yeah, he's the big threat.
Events. So, Stephano, he likes to go Ultralisk a lot here, especially early hive place. We already have Marauders coming out to start to just kind of prepare for it, not fully dedicating, but just to have a couple in the mix here. As the first few Ultralisks are on the way out, Stephano holding the gold base is great. But it also can stab you in the back if you lose the center, which Hart is trying to take at this very moment.
Yes, and more often than not, the Terran can take the center position. And once they've done it, that's it. Your 4th base is gone. That's absolutely crucial. Sieging up there, already evacuating, and possibly even just going to have to give that position up entirely, but no, no, no. Here come the Lings. There's a hell of a lot of them, but there's also a lot of tanks up to the top.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go in yet. He wants to wait for these upgrades to finish. We just saw +2 Carapace finish up, Adrenal Glands as well. And not too long, but you see the delay of that +2 melee attack
makes a difference.
Being annoying to Stephano now. He could have gone in there, but he's waiting for the plating upgrade and the extra 3 Ultras to go in, and he will go crashing down.
Yeah, and this delay might be just what he needs. Get his chitinous plating upgrade, his +2. Things are looking really close. Hello, Investigator comes in right there and crashing down on top of this position. Will it be enough? More to the point, as the entire swarm falls down on top of Hart's entrenched army. Fungal spread all over the place, and the line is looking to be broken here. Marines kiting as hard as they can. Ultralisk continue, and he breaks that top position, holding it and holding onto the gold base.
And he's going to drop this new expansion of Stephano on the left-hand side here. Drones are vulnerable. Stephano's not around because he's interested in killing Hart, but he was warded away. These Ultralisk not fully upgraded yet. But here's the drop down, and Stephano still without reacting to this yet.
Yeah, he's going to lose quite a few drones here as a direct result of that one. A couple of Marauders just marching into their deaths as the Ultralisk munch on them quite easily. And it looks like he just wants to try and trade. He's like, you know what, I'll lose my 5th as long as I can take your natural or your 3rd here.
The game here is Stephano.
Indeed, overrunning from all sides by the looks of it. He's got those big line breaker units in here. The SCVs are a curious snack for that Ultralisk army, as Hart gets ripped to shreds here by Stephano's furious Ultralisk charge.
And there was a reason why nobody dared to fight the Mammoth. SCVs do not touch Ultralisk.
No,
they all
don't.
Die, and Stephano is on the verge of going through to the winner bracket final. Hart still trying to show his courage by dropping down to keep Stephano on the back foot, but Stephano doesn't care.
He's firing on all cylinders now. He sees that the end is near. The 3rd is getting good, and Stephano will be forced to actually go for a cleanup there, but the economic devastation is obvious. 21 SCVs remaining, huge infrastructure damage, a cancellation on yet another expansion here. holds on to his third, but his natural is in tatters.
Yeah, I mean, Stephano doesn't have the best economy, losing that expansion on the left-hand side. Does have 60 drones, did lose quite a few there on the left. Does have to go base, though, and more importantly, has Infestors. Of course, he has 6 out, combining with almost fully upgraded Ultralisk and Lings, +3 melee attack on the way here. Once again, that little mistake of that, forgetting that +2, paying off once again for Heart here. But Heart does stabilize, lost so many SCVs. He is crippled in this game. He can't even afford to get +3 armor at the same time as +3 attack here. If he does, that's no more tanks, which he needs to hold on. He can't even afford tank upgrades. His tanks are just at +1.
Yep, but Mule's pretty good unit, so he is catching up just a little bit. Single Brave Marine is savaged almost immediately upon dropping. It's picked up without his legs and one of his arms. Unpleasant right there. But this is what it comes down to here. Stephano remaxing, whereas Heart is struggling to get his big, heavy units back into play.
And Heart is in a position where he's trying to upgrade, he's trying to build an army. And Stephano's in a position where he doesn't give a damn. He's waiting for 4 Ultras to pop and +3 to finish for his Ultralisk and Zerglings or Cracklings, and he's about to come crashing down onto the Complexity player here, and it's going to be a very one-sided fight here. And anybody under the age of 16 currently watching this, I advise to close your eyes as Stephano hammers Heart down.
Indeed. It will not be a pretty sight, ladies and gentlemen. Parents, please tuck away your children for the evening, because this could be psychologically scarring to any aspiring Terran player. But of course, the longer Stephano waits, the more Heart gets the opportunity to reinforce, to try and pull Stephano apart. Heart is not out yet. He is in a bad position, but if anyone can hold on, it'll be him.
He's about to walk into a clamp. Heart will on siege. He will. He has to go soon. And look at the clamp that Stephano has set up. This is going to be one sandwich that you do not want to eat.
Unless, of course, you happen to be Stephano, who will be munching down on that.
Here it comes. And Stephano, oh man, this is going to be ugly.
Stephano has a fine palate. He is a connoisseur, and today his secret ingredient is Complexity Heart. And here he goes, ladies and gentlemen, from the entire screen, completely covered, and that's the GG. And Heart is knocked down to the loser's bracket. Stephano rips the Heart out of Complexity and continues his dominance in this tournament.
Dominance in this tournament and dominance in the scene. Stephano, tournament after tournament, continues to get the results which so many people want to achieve. And sometimes he makes it look easy, look not even a smirk on his face as he packs his gear up, actually fiddling with his shoes, as that's probably what was annoying him. Look at that.
He wasn't actually even wearing them by the looks of it.
Puts his shoes back on.
Perhaps it was the stench that was distracting his opponent, some kind of secret biological warfare.
Potentially, but Stephano does it again.
That was brutal, man. It really was.
Does it again. Heart knocked down, not out, but down. Stephano moves on to, of course, face the winner of Pult and Violet, which I think is going to be our next game here on the main stage. There is the bracket. There is Stephano, king of the winner bracket so far.
Could we see what everybody wants to see in those winner bracket finals?
Yeah. And down in the lower bracket, of course, we just having updates too coming through that Grubby has been knocked out. So once again, Stephano is the last man standing here. As Grubby falls to Inori 2-0. Symbol picks up the win against Dream, who was on a roll, on a fantastic roll of eating Zerg players alive. I mean, he went through Idra, Lucera, and then Bly, and then Lenok, but finally fell down, of course, to Symbol, who's been also on fire recently.
Astonishingly dominant, only losing to his teammate in one of the best ZVT we have seen in a very long time. There is, of course, the possibility that age-old rivalry is rekindled in the winners bracket, but we will be finding that out shortly. There is, of course, a man standing in the way of that happening. It is Violet, folks. Oh, yes, Empire Violet. Will that happen? We will find out very shortly, folks. Violet versus TSL Pult is coming up right after this.